In this video, we'll see how we can write down a function in C to accept the character array or string also. Now, character array and string, these two things are many a times very confusing for embedded programmers, and therefore we'll give it a special treatment. Now let's try to see how it works. If you look at it in this way, this is my previous program where I passed on 5 float values to the array or 5 float value array to the function. Now if I save it as function pass char array, and if I make it char over here, and if I replace all those values with some characters, so A, comma B, comma C, comma X, comma Y, comma Z. So we have 6 values in this array, and here if I don't want to do any multiplication into it, but I just want to print it as it is, then so if I just want to print every element of this character array, see if it works like this directly. So printf, we'll write down it like this, /n char array element is %c and then my of I. %c is basically to print the character as it is. We have 6 elements, so we'll have this for loop execute up to 6 values. Let's see, is there any actual real difference between the two? So we have seen the previous program and now we are looking at this new program. I will remove this header line and now see. It worked. Yeah, it worked fairly well. It worked very well. So what is the difference? Why make a fuss out of it? Why make it difficult? The difference is we are passing the array directly like this over here and we are receiving it like this over here. Many a times what will happen is your data may not be an array like this, but it may seem like this. So look at it. So my txt is equal to character my txt, some value here, and welcome to C. Okay. Now, if you have a text string like this, will it also work here? Let us see. So I'll just keep this line as it is, and instead of print mul, okay, the name of function should be different. So print it. I'll just call it print it. Now if I do print underscore it my txt, how many characters we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's keep it only 6 just for the sake of simplicity. Let's see if it works. Okay, it worked as well. Can we see that? So remember, there is no difference between creating an array like this and creating an array like this, as well as there is no difference in passing that array to a C function like this. So what is the difference? The difference is you have to understand that when you receive an array over here, you can receive it like this, or there is another way to receive the array, which is I'm going to show you, and that's what is important. So instead of writing char my, you can accept it as a pointer. So char, let's say star txt. An array, when you pass on to a function, is always passed on as a pointer. I repeat, when you pass an array to a function, an array is always passed on as a pointer. So here you are creating another array which is pointing to these values, and therefore it can print them all. The only difference here is I'm going to make it simplified. If I don't know the length of the string, so welcome to this. If I don't know the length of this string, how will I print it? Now in that case, what you can do is, I'm planning to print it using get putchar function. So putchar will print a single character. So what happens is, how you do it is, see, this is an entire string. The function call will remain the same, but here instead of receiving it like this, I'm going to receiving it as a pointer. So what will happen is, this star txt or txt is now pointer to my txt, which consists of what? It consists of welcome to this. Now star txt will hold the first character or the first value of this array, which is w. Okay, star txt will have w. If I manually do txt plus 1, what is supposed to happen? The pointer will increment and then it will point to the next value in array, which is e. Try to understand it, try to comprehend it. You may want to re-listen to this, re-watch this video. So when you pass it on, txt is the pointer to this my txt array. So star txt, if you access, will have only w in it, and when you do txt plus 1, it will point to e. When you do txt plus 1 again, it will point to l, c, o, m, e up to the last point. I have also told you that the last character in any text string is 0. So if we check the star txt until it becomes 0, then we can run a while loop. What do I mean by all of these things? Let's see. So I'll just comment this entire piece of code here and write the next. So to print this character array or to print this string without knowing the length, we can do it like this. So while star txt is not equal to 0, while star txt is not equal to 0, because it will become 0 after this last character. There will be a 0 appended after this last character. So while star txt is not equal to 0, what I will do is putchar, that's a function, star txt, and what I will do is txt plus plus. So txt plus plus is what's increment the pointer, and this is print the current value of or current value pointed by pointer. Now this kind of code will execute up to the last character, and after the last character, what will happen is it will stop execution, because after this s there will be a 0 in this array, or where there will be a 0 in this text string. You don't have to mention it, it is always there whenever you write a string like this. Let's take a litmus test of this. So print it, print it. So the name is same, let's make it print this, print this, okay, and we will also declare it. This is ANSI standard. Some compilers will not ask you to declare it like this, most will ask you. So just keep a practice of declaring the functions. Let's run it. Welcome to this. Can you see the entire string printed very nice using putchar? If you want, what I can do is I can do a new line after everything is done. So /n, and let's run it. See this. So here you are accessing the array as pointer, and then you are accessing the element value as well as you are incrementing the pointer. Txt consists of the pointer. So you can increment the pointer so that it will point to the next value. Star txt, when you use this term, it means you are accessing the value pointed by that pointer. Therefore, you can put char the star txt and increment the txt pointer like this. This is particularly important in embedded systems when you are writing a function for printing something on LCD. Because in our embedded systems program, we don't have printf. So, our LCD program may be writing a single byte at a time. So, therefore, let's say a void LCD underscore out, or where LCD underscore string will work like this. So, star str, and here you may want to write it down like this. So, LCD underscore write star str and str plus plus. To make sure everything happens only to the length of star str, what we write down is while star str is not equal to 0. Instead of this, you can also write it down simply while star str. I'll just show you in a moment. Just I'm showing you this thing. It can be writing the values on LCD, it can be writing the values on serial port, it can be writing values anywhere. And this declaration is exactly same as writing this. While star str is not equal to 0 means while star str. You may not get, or you don't get confused when you see a declaration like this. Basically, any program, if or while or whatever it is, these constructs are basically checking whether this value is non-zero. When you write it something like this, it means if star txt is non-zero, or not if, but while star txt is non-zero. As soon as it becomes 0, the program will stop execution, or the loop will stop executing. In the same way, you can also write down if a, or if a means if a is non-zero value, or if not a means what? If a is a 0 value. I'll tell you examples of it later on. So the same program can be written like this also. While star txt, put char txt plus plus. Same output. So that's how this function will execute. Print this, and you have already seen print it, where we are directly accessing it as a entire array. Again, a question is, if this entire array, here I am receiving it as char of array, can I treat it as a pointer like this? Let's see. All I need to do is I need to copy this much of code, paste it over here. So I'll just comment out this line. Put this code over here. Instead of txt, here we call it as my. This function is print it. So we'll call print it now. And my txt. Or let's do one thing, print that. I'm doing it on purpose so that you should have all the instances of all the working functions. I'm just making a new function here. So we'll just copy everything and make it void print that. I will remove this part from this code, and print it was our older function. So let's not touch it. Let's keep it as it is. Now this way, you can test all three functions when you are experimenting. So let's see print that. Will it work? Let's see. So now we are not calling print it, we are not calling print this, we are calling print that. Output, no change at all. Getting it? So when you have passed something as an array, when you accept it either as an array or either as a pointer, there is no change at all. This signifies, or this tells you that this line and this line is exactly same. You can write the line like this and make the code like this. You can write the line like this and even you can make a code like this. Now, I'm not saying this is very easy, very simple to comprehend, But just go over to this video, maybe 2 times, 3 times, and you will understand everything in absolute clarity. Remember, this is very important. We want to deal in embedded systems about printing a string, printing a big number of data through serial port or through I2C or through SPI or on LCD and on multiple such occasions. And therefore, you have to have a good clarity about how character array is passed to a function. Thank you for watching this video. All the very best. Try to re-watch it a couple of times and you will get a clarity about it. If you still don't get a clarity, I'm always there for you to ask your questions. Thank you.